With that said, we're ready to roll. Razor, lead us off. Let's go.
Right on. Yeah, I was actually talking to my buddy Bryden, who just joined the group the other day, and I was telling him how, like, looking back on this first year, I kind of view it as like first year of college. Like, you show up with some people you meet some new people who you have common interests with. You end up making, I know I made some lifelong friends in this group that, I never would have thought that would have happened, over and above making some extra money gambling. So, and then like, you've got your acquaintances that you meet. Like, you've got like, it's like Thao and I, see each other in the hallways. We know some of the same girls. Anyways, but yeah, like I've gotten to know Thao. I've gotten to know his story a little bit, but I know he's a big stud around campus. But now I get to see him in almost person. And tell us about your story, Thao.
Oh man, like honestly, it's still like surreal. Like when I see people call me like a legend or a goat, and I'm like, I just place bets, and sometimes they win, sometimes they lose, right? So I guess my story is that so I what I do for a living is I run a bubble tea shop. I opened it right at the beginning of 2020, so right before COVID hit. So last year was the tough year for me financially, and there was nothing really I could do about it. And then I've always like bet on sports, but just recreationally. So I make a little bit here and there, enough to like pay some bills. And I was bored at that time, so it was roughly August last year. Right, and I saw inplayLIVE. The ad came up on Facebook, and I don't know. I joined the free training webinar, and I saw Andrew with a nice dress shirt on. He's saying all the right things, and you're like, okay, like everything he says makes sense, but how do I make money from it, right? And then that's when I started signing up, and even though I signed up, I didn't follow the strategies right away, because even though you sign up, you're like a little still skeptical of like, okay, is this gonna work? Is it not gonna work? There are some doubts, but then I remember I hit my first wager. I was like, oh wow, like this guy's legit. I remember sending it to him like, you're the real deal. Um, but it just didn't quite work my schedule too much, so I was like on and off. So honestly, my first month I didn't even make much. I might not even make anything, but I just learned. I just in the background, just learning and learning. And I think that's the part that people need to understand is that you're not gonna hit the ground running. You might not hit the ground running right away, right? Some people do. Some people, I remember seeing people hitting, like four figures, five figures, like over a weekend. And I'm looking at myself. I'm like, am I doing something wrong myself? Right? I'm not making as much as these guys. So I'm just working in the background, and then football season hit. Right? Football season hit, and that's when I buckled down. I was like, okay, this is a month in already. I'm gonna buckle down, and I'm going to actually like follow up full Saturday and follow Andrew's picks. And I didn't know and I never like bet on football the way we did, where we do like the inplayLIVE betting. And I just remember betting, and I just didn't know what I was really betting, but I was just following Andrew. And all of a sudden, I just see my bankroll increasing. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? Like, I don't even know what was going on. I just saw my bankroll increasing as the day went on. I remember like was one of our hot Saturdays, and that's from then on. I was like, okay, this guy is different. He's built different, and of course you go on losing runs, and then when Kenny started coming along, that's when my bankroll like took another step forward, right? So my first few months, I was making like good money. It wasn't um, the amount that was like where I'm going to quit my job. I don't think I'm at a point where I'm even going to quit my job now, right? Because even though sports, like I put a lot of time into sports betting, it doesn't feel like work. I love doing it. I think Saturdays, that's the only thing in my life I've ever set an alarm for. I'm the type of person where I'll show up when I show up. I'm always on time. Like people can, I'll show up whenever, right? But then like NFL Sunday, NCAA Saturday, I have an alarm to make sure I get up and be ready, right? And that's the prep work I put in, is that I just gotta make sure I'm ready. And and even on the days off, I use those days as just to review what I did, and I'll look at ways to, I guess, fine tune my game as well. The best part is that I get to be part of a community with like-minded people, right? Where we're going towards a common goal. And honestly, a lot of my friends, they don't do a lot of sports betting. So I kind of just done it on my own. And to be part of a community where everyone's talking sort of the same language, like having the same passions, it's awesome. And you're making money, right? So I've made over 6 figures in the past year. And just think of it this way: if you're going to go to a university or a college and pay for a program that earns you 6 figures, how much money you have to pay? How much time do you have to invest? So to be able to, have a month, just all you have to do is a monthly subscription, and you get paid to learn, right? Yeah. That's where can you get that? That's the awesome part of this.
Yeah. Well, and also get paid to do something that you love, right?
Exactly.
Like I tell people all the time. I mean, I think a lot of people, I don't know if many know my story, but I'm a business owner. One of the things that I really look for in the people that work with our company is they have to love what they do.
Yeah.
Right. And like, I don't care if you're talking about sports gambling. I don't care if you're a garbage man. I don't care what you do. If you love what you do, it's not work, and you're going to want to do lots of it. Right. So like we talk all the time about the need to put the work in on this, but we're not suggesting like this is like, something you don't want to do. If you've got a passion for this, then it's not work, but but it is work. You know what I mean? Like it's sort of a funny thing. Pacer, prior to the call, he pointed to a really great line from Simon Sinek, who we opened the show with last week. And it says, working hard for something we don't care about is called stress. Working hard for something we love is called passion. Right. Yeah. And I think if we look at all the people who found success in here, they work hard, but they're passionate about it. They want to. They're begging for the opportunity to do more of it. And I know that's how you feel, Thao. I know you love this stuff, don't you?
Yeah, I'm part of like the after dark crew, like, because usually that's when my store closes. So I have time to like go do some research and find values and other stuff. And then as I got like more successful and I realized this works, I started bringing in some of my close friends, right? And now they've hit the 6-figure club as well. And these guys, I tell you not, like they've never done sports betting in their life, right? Zero. So for them for me to see them do well, it shows me that anyone can do it. But what I usually start off with is I want to know what their goals are, because everyone defines success differently. Right. Yeah. Some people, maybe their goals, I want to hit 6 figures. Some people maybe I just want extra income. And it doesn't always have to be money. It could also be like, I want to have more time flexibility, especially people with families, people with multiple jobs. Yeah. Right. Everyone has a different story. Right. So we can't assume that everyone is like wants the same things out of this. Some people just want to enjoy making money off of sports, enjoying what they're doing, right? So after I figure out what they want to do, we can sort of tailor the type of strategies around what their commitment is. But when their commitment, but if they're committed to that, I expect them to be, I hold them accountable to that too.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Right. So let's talk about that, because you might have the first ever inplayLIVE branch. So pretend Ray and I just signed up on your team.
Yes.
Tell us what we're going to do. How are we going to learn about this? What are we going to do to find success the Thao fam way? How are we going to do it?
Okay. So we're gonna start off like I'm gonna figure out what your bankroll is. How much are you willing to invest in this?
Okay.
And then we determine your unit size, and we're gonna look at how much time like what days of the week or what's your schedule look like for a week, right?
Okay.
So and just be transparent, like if it's football and depending what time what time of the year you sign up with. So if it's during football season, okay, we're gonna learn these are the days that you're gonna be busy sports betting, right? And then we make a list of the books that you're gonna need. So it could, if it's football, so we're looking at 365, Canby, Bodog. And then if you're starting, we have what I like to do is we try to take advantage of many of the bonuses as we can, especially if your units are smaller. Say if you start with $5 or $10 units, a $500 deposit bonus, that's an extra, you're looking at an extra, my math might be off, but like 100 units to play with.
Sure.
Right. And a lot of it is money management to start with, and just building the mindset that this is not a get rich quick scheme, right? You're not gonna make it in 1 month or 2 months. You might, but highly unlikely. And it's not like a normal job where, okay, if you want to make 6 figures, the math is easy. You make 10K every month. With this, you might never make anything the first month. You might make a little the next month. It's more of a curve as opposed to a linear growth.
Yeah.
But once you hit the ground running, it just exponentially grows. And after that, it's almost impossible to lose all your money if you follow the system.
And Thao, correct me if I'm wrong, but
yeah.
I mean, like unit prices, just for the people on the line wondering, mm-hmm. Most of the direct messages that we've received in advance of the show are asking about unit prices. Yes. Thao isn't going into debt to do this. He's not borrowing money. He's using his cash, but you kind of use that balance like a bit of an operating line, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. And so I got limited maybe on a couple books. So once I withdrew from those books, that became my reload. Like that became, I guess, my sports money that I just left there in case I need to reload. So it's not like I dipped into more of my personal funds.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, do you think, and I don't want this to kind of take away from any of the success that you've had, because I think the people who understand what it takes to win here, like we're listening to what you're saying and our minds are just like you're running this like the best sales manager I've ever listened to. Like you've got like a management style. It's like a training manual. It's awesome. Do you think anybody can learn to do this? Or do you think that there's like a special kind of talent or skill required to do it?
Yes, you're gonna need a big skill, a very big skill.
That is,
you gotta be open-minded and coachable.
Attaboy.
Right. Because we're like, I love like Andrew's like first videos. Like we're going to an arena where people are supposed to lose. Yeah. Right. I think people need to remember that. Yeah. Like we're not gonna win every day. Even the best sports team, like they lose 30% of the time. Right. If people are open-minded, they're coachable. I feel like I can coach anyone. But that's my mentality. I'm humble but arrogant at the same time. Like I don't need to flash it, but I know I'm good. So right. So I've learned, like I've worked with management, so I've learned that it's very important for me to follow up with people too. My biggest fear is when people suffer and they're failing in silence, because we are going to an arena that people lose, and I don't want people to be losing on their own. And I generally like to help people. Like my motto is I don't want to be rich alone. There's no fun in that.
Right. Thao, I'm going to join your team. Can I join your team? I'm dead serious. I really want to start following you on some of this stuff. It's awesome. Okay. This is really cool. I don't know, Thao, I'm not sure if you can see the chat, but the boys are like, they're pumped.
Blowing up right now.
I'm pumped.
I hope so, man. Like we gotta make some money. We gotta bring energy. We gotta bring energy.
Love don't pay the bill.
yeah, I'm a person like I try to find the positive in everything. Right? So like this is definitely a big opportunity just for me to be able to like share with other people, and because I'm like I see people, some people are doing well and some people like they need some help. I just don't know how I could like help them, and this is a way for me to help them. And let's go over it.
And Thao,
And anyone that has reached out to me, I've answered. So feel free to reach out to me with any questions as well.
Yeah, that's great.
Thao, talking about finding good in everything. I mean, I don't think you really expanded on it, but you were dealt a little bit of a bad hand at the start of COVID with your business, and
Yeah.
this was big for that, was it not?
Yeah, this is huge. I think what was huge for me is like the perception of what I was doing changed in my family. Like they looked at it differently, right? So growing up, like money was always an issue, like with my family, and when they knew I was like gambling with cat like recreationally, so it's always like, oh, don't play too big. And then now they're like making good money with it. Now they're part of it in a way where they're asking me, how did you do today? How'd you do this weekend?
Yeah.
Right. I remember when I started, my fiance, I think I had a losing day, and then she made a comment where it's like, okay, now you can go back and do real work. And oh man, I was so pissed. I was so pissed. I just had a losing day, and you had to say that shit to me. But now it's more so like, okay, she's more supportive in the sense where, okay, after a losing day, she'll help me, like, I guess deal with the home stuff or deal with the store. So it's having their buy-in that makes it nice, and to be able to take care of them. Like I have an avenue now to take care of them, and to see, like, just to see my parents proud. It was like, that's all I really want.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So good, man. So good.
Yeah.
Tao, there's not one part of you that blames anybody else for adversity, right? Like I can see it. Like it's obvious. You own everything. You weren't playing the victim card when COVID backed you into a corner.
No.
You just said, okay, this is where we are. What's the best path from here?
Yeah.
What message would you say to people who aren't prepared to own the losses in this, right? Like everybody wants to take credit when they win.
Yeah.
What do you say to people who struggle with owning the adversity?
Okay. So I'm gonna backtrack a little bit, and I wasn't always like this, to be honest. I was actually someone that grew up like I didn't have money when I grew up, right? So I would blame my parents for a lot of things. Like they couldn't get me this, they couldn't get me that, and I went through. I lived I guess a miserable time frame in my life. But for some reason, it clicked to me one day, and someone like my close friend told me, happiness is a choice, right? Situations are gonna be dealt to you. It's up to you on how you want to react to it.
Yeah.
Right. So once I fully understood that, I'm in control of my life, that's when my life turned around. Because if you know that you're in control of your life and you're in a shitty situation, then you have the power to make it better. And for me, that was the most powerful thing I needed. Yeah. Because it was never a case of abilities. Like I knew I could do shit, right? I just didn't know how well I can do things. And I still don't know how well I can do things, but it gave me the opportunity for me to control myself, right? And that's how I live my life moving forward, is that shit's gonna happen, right? Yeah. And I've gone through tougher stuff before, right? Without like delving too deep, like my sister passed away last year while I was training to open for the store.
Jeez.
Right. So like 2020 was a really rough year for me, but time still ticks. People, you still gotta move forward, right? It's like the world doesn't wait for you, right? So going to the sports betting mindset is that, like we follow these plays and these picks, and if they don't work out, we have to look at ourselves because what did we do? What could we have done differently? That's what I always look for first, is what could we have done differently?
Yeah.
As opposed to like blaming someone else, because you know what? they don't live your life, you live your life.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the mindset I come with. I know it's not really like a sports betting thing, but like that's how I live my life.
That's amazing, Thao. Zoom does most things, like in terms of being able to create these connections, but I'm really wishing this was in person. I'd love to give you a big hug right now, man. This is awesome stuff. Like I'm choking back tears right now. It's amazing. It's really amazing. And I love that answer about the choice. You're right.
Exactly. So like even when there's like different, like there's so many different bets that happen either in the pro chat or under the timer during the streams, right? You don't have, like I tell people, you don't have to take every single bet there is, right? You can't, it's impossible. But it's just funny, like the bets you take, you lose, and the bets you don't take, they win. It always works in your mind that way. Right, but
sometimes you get in that funk for sure. Yeah,
you get into that funk, and you start trying to time the picks, and that never works out. Right, you just gotta there's so many different strategies. For me, I just pick the few that really work for me, and then those ones I can do a different unit size, and the ones that are more, I guess, more recreational or where I'm just trying to feel out the strategy, I'll go with a smaller unit.
We've got a few questions building up here.
Ray, why don't you do the 5 questions first?
Rapid fire segment.
Sure.
Yeah. So guys, we're trying something here. We've seen it on some other shows. Like there's I don't know if anybody watched the Inside the Actors Studio when they'd end with like the 10 questions. And I think Ray was saying Michael Landsberg used to end his show with 5 questions. So we're gonna before we move to Q&A on each show, we're gonna do 5 questions with Razor. So Razor, why don't you lead us off? Well, that's why I texted him. Yeah.
You're Michael Landsberg. I'm way cooler.
Fuck that. Okay. There's no way I'm Michael. I'm definitely cooler than fucking Landsberg, but fine. Next question. That's right, Chris. Next question. Okay.
We're going to come up with a name for this too and figure out who's asking by next week.
I love how both of us thought this was a good idea, but neither one wants to ask the question. What's our dad used to have some really great advice, and throughout the show, we'll sort of drop some of his great nuggets. But one of the things that he used to say to Ray and I, basically from the time we were 3 years old till the day he died, was he'd say, boys, in this life, you are going to have the opportunity to learn from the good and the bad. The only question is, are you smart enough to learn from both? So let's talk about the bad. What's the biggest lesson you've ever learned from a loss?
Don't chase. It's losing 1 unit doesn't hurt you. It's when you lose 5 units, 10 units on one play.
Because you're so stubborn, you just keep going and going.
You just want to get it back. Yeah.
I wish I would have watched this show before the fucking Ryder Cup happened. I chased the Euros all weekend and it cost me a mint.
Yeah. So I'm not saying I don't chase anymore, but I just try to catch myself before it gets real bad.
Yeah, that's great. I don't think there's anybody in this group who's mastered every strategy out there, every sport out there. What's the next strategy that you're really keen to learn?
I guess the next one. The beauty of this group is that I don't know what the next strategy is going to be. It sort of just adapts, evolves. I remember the March Madness one. I remember Pace was saying that, well, he didn't even know the rules of the bracket. I was like, am I really going to follow this guy to place thing with bets on March Madness? But it's just whatever the next strategy is. And then we made a killing during March Madness. When he couldn't even fill out a bracket, I was like, okay. That's when I realized, like, I'm ready to go whenever. Any new strategy, let's go.
If this fucking guy can print money, then
yes,
then I'm good.
yeah, like this guy, this community, whoever.
It hit me too. Like I said to Razor one day, I'm like, how the fuck are we going to follow this guy? He can't even pronounce Andy Dalton's name right. Who the fuck is Andy Dalton?
Andy Dalton,
and yet he's making money. You can't produce the simplest name on earth, and I'm going to follow you. And then he just print.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah. Okay, who is the inplayLIVE member other than Pacer and Kenny that you've learned the most from?
I'd say so. There's two different ways, two different things I've learned, right? Like, so there's learning of like sports betting strategy, and the other part is like the mindset. Sports betting, I guess the mindset is like I've learned from Zanus is that this guy is always like very level-headed. Like he's always looking on the bright side of things. I remember we went on a losing run, and then he not losing run, but it was during I think close to Christmas time last year, and he sent out him singing a song, like one of the worst things I've ever
Bruce
heard, but it's just
Springsteen
cool
Christmas or
that he
something
did
like
it.
that.
Yeah, there's the Bruce Springsteen song, yes. So it was just cool that he sent it out, and it felt like somewhat like we're a family in a way, right? There's just like that little bit of touch to it.
Totally. Yeah.
Yes.
And for those of you that don't know Zaky Baby, like he's
next level.
Best. I mean, like you could say he's the best about like 100 guys in this group, but like he's awesome. He's such a beauty. You know, everybody on here is gonna learn from him soon as well. And it's actually it's one of the really cool things for the new people here. I would highly, highly, highly recommend that you find a little clique that you're going to chat with. And there's so many reasons to do it. It's not about replacing anything that comes from Pacer and Kenny. It's not about that at all. It's about having a little, just a little community within the community that you can talk to, that you can, you can bounce ideas off of. If you're frustrated, instead of sending, messages out to everybody or DMs or whatever, you can talk with your group and say, hey, this is what I'm going through. Help me out. But also, there's a family aspect to this, right? Like we've got our little side group with some of the guys, and I know everybody's got their little private chats, and it's pure love. It's just pure love. You form a bond with these guys because we're all here for, at least similar reasons, and we're all like-minded. It's the best. It's the absolute best.
Yeah, and that's what IPL has helped me with sports betting, is that I don't get to see my friends often because of COVID, but this has given a chance to give us something that's common that we can talk about on a regular basis. And then, we catch up on like our personal lives as well.
Yeah.
Right. And sorry, going back to your question about, the sports betting, I actually learned, I think recently, like Carl with his baseball strategy has been a big help. Yeah. And he's been a big part of our, our community. Very happy to have him.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's a beauty in person too.
Pacer just shoulder tapped me to one of the questions. It looks like we've got 7 of them. So we're going to start with Michael Tanner. I believe he's one of the offshore bandits from Florida. Do you still only take Pacers picks, or do you do your own thing based on the training courses?
I'll do my own thing as well. With the training courses, you learn to look for values in different ways. One of the things I've developed over time is shopping for lines. So I do my own stuff as well. I don't share them as often because I hate giving out losing picks. That's the thing about me. Like I just want to give out winners, as anyone would.
Pressure that much more when they share a pick, and it seems like only the ones you share are the ones that lose too. It seems like,
that's it. That's the part that kills me, is like I don't want to lose someone else's money. I don't mind losing my own money. I don't want to lose someone else's money. That's why it's crazy how some people, how Andrew can be in front of, or Kenny can be in front of 200 people and be okay giving out picks.
That takes exactly. That's got to be a tough job, but he does it well. Mark Pendleton, quick question. Mm-hmm. What's your unit size now versus when you started? And just curious, how many units do you do per month?
Okay, so I started with a $500 bankroll, lost it all because I was doing my own thing, and I reloaded 200. So I did $5 units from the beginning and worked my way up. It took me a while to increase unit sizes, to be honest, because I worked so hard to increase it. I didn't want to lose it. So I would struggle to increase my unit sizes. So I was sort of grinding my way up. I would say for unit sizes now, it's different depending on what play I do. like my unit sizes is less than 1% of my bankroll.
Yeah.
And that's for some reason I'm not comfortable betting 2%. I've always been only betting under 1%, but as my bankroll grows, that 1% number becomes a larger dollar value. And I think that's the most important part, is like you bet what you're comfortable with. And that's what Andrew told me when I asked him like a year back, like, man, I can only bet $20. I can't get over this hump. And he told me, just bet what you're good with. Then that's when, and he said, as long as you're taking the bets. And I said, okay. So I just take it, and then my bankroll is growing at this, and I'm making good enough money where I'm happy with that. I'm happy making, I'm not making as much as other people, but I'm good with the money I'm making. So who's out there to judge me on how much I'm making, right? So I make about, and I think someone asked like how many units I make. I probably make 150 to 170 units per month on average. My lowest month was 150 units.
Wow.
In that month. Yeah. On a good month, I could do 200 units.
Good for you. Okay, we got Charmy's question here. It's actually more of a statement followed by a question. I'm just going to read it.
Yeah.
Thao, you are a low-profile beast, my man. You mentioned being part of the late-night crew. I am someone who loves the late-night scene. Not the late-night scene like pre-2020, but the late-night scene. I love being able to focus on fewer games and find there is always great value in the later games. Do you alter your strategy based on time of day / volumes of games?
Yes, I do, because so I work at a body shop, so I'm busy. I'm open, like I close at midnight, so I don't actually get to fully tune in after I close the store. So I'm able to look for different kinds of values when later at night, and there's less games, and I really feel like since like most of the world is asleep, you could find value with the later games.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I thought Charmy was going to ask, do you gamble late at night with your shirt off like I do? Because that's what Charmy, I've never had a conversation with Charmy past 8 p.m. where he's got his shirt on. He's probably watching his tarps off right now. I can just about
until we went to Vancouver, and then we finally were like, oh, you do wear shirts. Actually, can't wait to get Charmy on the show.
Oh yeah.
Okay, next question.
All right.
Chris Patrick, as your bankroll grows, how do you manage your money in terms of withdrawal of your winnings? What's the best way to manage that part?
Great question.
As your bankroll grows, you're gonna get limited. So just wait until you get limited, and then you'll get a nice big payday. Being limited is a bittersweet feeling, because you can't hit that book anymore, but you know you're gonna get a big paycheck.
No, you're getting
coming.
paid.
You're gonna get this payday, yeah. And then after a while, like it's just an average. You're gonna be limited at least once or twice a month, so that's your payday.
Yeah, that's exactly it. There's the good and the bad in the limiting, because
yes,
you get paid at some point. So
yes. So yeah, just be patient at the beginning. It's tough because you're putting money into this, and you don't see you don't get to enjoy the results right away. But as you win, like I promise you will be able to enjoy it soon.
For sure.
Yeah, it's like any investment. You put in more and more early on, and then all of a sudden the withdrawals become way bigger than the deposits.
Exactly. And the first few months, my focus wasn't like to withdraw money. It was just grow your bankroll, right? Even if you're just up half a unit that day, your bankroll's a little bit more now. So that with a bigger bankroll, you can say bigger units. Someone like reached out to me, and he started with $1,000 bankroll, and he said he's only up 300 after a few weeks. And I'm like, you're up 30%. Like, where can you go and you can be up 30% of your investment in 3 weeks, right? $300 sounds like a small money. Sorry, it's a small. It sounds like a small amount, but 30% growth, that's huge.
Like my first 48 hours owning Shiba coin. That's 48 hours of my life. I was going to be a trillionaire. Fell off a bit.
Well, I thought we were gonna boost his business here. Where's your bubble tea shop?
Okay, if you're in the GTA area, we're at Jarvis and King, right by the St. Louis market. We are open from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. and on the weekends we're open till midnight.
You go. Nobody goes on a talk show without promoting something. So
That's true. Thao, what are you going to do to reward yourself with the winnings? Any immediate plans to spend some of your winnings? Are you wasting it all on things like food and shelter, or are you going to do something awesome with it? What's your plan for you and your family?
I learned that I need to I need money to make more money. So I'm putting in investments. I actually was able to put some down payment on a pre-construction condo. So, and yeah, I do a lot of different investments. I have a bunch of side hustles.
Good for you, Thao.
That doesn't surprise me.
Thao, this was a great call. You know, I know you said you're a little bit nervous about this, man. You should never, ever be nervous about sharing your story. I think you're too humble to realize how impactful what you said is on people. Honestly, Thao, this was a phenomenal call. You're a solid individual.
Thank you.
Can't say enough, man. This was awesome.
That's Tao's only weakness, is that he's too humble.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what he said before the call. Thao, what's your biggest weakness? Too humble. Too humble.
But I am above average. I don't know how far above average I am, but I'm above average for sure.
That's great.
Awesome, man. That was awesome.
There you go.
That was super fun.
Yeah, there we go. Guys, thanks so much for this. Razor, great job. Thao, awesome job. This was a great show.
There we go. Yes.
Let's go. See you, boys.
Let's go.